So, guys, welcome back, and let's continue with the next part. so, so there's some small topic left. So let's very quickly cover this topic today. Okay, and so what we do first topic. So the one of the topic for today is work space. Okay, so in the programming world, wherever guys in whichever folder you guys put your code, technically in that world that is known as workspace. But in Terraform they had an exclusive keyword or exclusive meaning of the workspace. So what I mean by this, let me write the term here. So one of the topic that we are going to discuss today is called workspace. Okay, so what I mean by this, right? So what can you do, right? Again, it will be same concept, right? That we have already discussed to you. Okay, so so we can do something like this. We have a single code, single file. Okay, and let me quickly write that particular file in our in a workspace. So let me create one new folder. Okay, and before this, I would like to take the code directly that I already have, so it will save our time. So let's say this is the one of the resource we have. Okay, and let me put this resource in a new folder. Okay, and let me create a new file. Let's say w.tf. So what is the plan? Okay, before this, let me very quickly write our provider. Provider is AWS, but you guys know how to work in other providers also. Multiple example we had discussed. And I'm going to use a default profile and region again AP South. Okay, so what exactly I'm going to do here? So my plan is something like this. Let's say this is one of the code we have. Okay, and when my plan is something like this. Okay, let's say I'm a single developer here working on this particular file, and my plan is whenever I run this file, okay, depend upon my environment. Okay, what I mean by environment here, let's say you guys may be in dev environment, or maybe in the test environment, or maybe in the production environment. So depend upon my environment. Okay, I can select my instance type. Similar kind of example we had discussed, but I'm just going to show you in other way. Okay, so let's say we have this kind of plan. Okay, this kind of plan. So I'm going to create a variable. Let's say my variable is type. Let's go instance type, and I have a plan per environment. So I'm going to create a map data type here, and my default value. Okay, default value would be something like this. So let's say I'll say here, if my environment is dev, there's my key here. So I would like to use T2 micro instance type. Okay, if my environment is test environment, I would like to use T2 small. If my environment is production environment, I would like to use, let's say, a T2 large. So there's a different instance type in the AWS cloud we have. Okay, so that's the plan we have discussed in our variable. Now, how we can control the environment? One of the way would be with the help of if or else that I explained to you. Okay, we have one more way. Okay, the way is called workspace. Okay, what I mean by this? So by default, guys, till date, okay, we have worked on a default workspace. Okay, what I mean by this? So if I run a Terraform, and the Terraform, there's a command called workspace. Help. You can list your workspace name. So by default, we always work on a default workspace. So whenever I run the Terraform plan or apply command, they know which workspace right now you are in. Okay, so right now, guys, you are in default workspace. There's a by default workspace, but we can create our own workspace. But I want to tell you guys, with the code, Terraform know which workspace you are in. So how can I say? Let me do one thing. Let me quickly comment all the lines. So guys, there's a way you can do multi-line comment in the Terraform. Let me use output keyword here to show you something. Okay, and my value would be, so there's a guys predefined variable. Okay, that's called Terraform dot workspace. Okay, so there's a pre-created variable in the Terraform that hold your current workspace name. It means when I run this code, Terraform apply. Okay, and if I say yes, so they print your current workspace name is default. That's what I show you guys. So same we can see with the command also. Technically, Terraform know which workspace you are in right now with the help of this variable. It means if you are in a different workspace, first of all, guys, how can you create a different workspace? So for this, there's an option called new. Let me create a new workspace called dev. You can give any name. Okay, so there's a new workspace created, and guys, you automatically switch to the new workspace. And if you try to show which workspace you are in right now, there's someone called show you are in that dev workspace. Or maybe you can just go and list the total workspace you have. Okay, now if I run my apply command again, so they know you are in the dev workspace. Okay, but let me create one more workspace. Okay, let's say production workspace. Okay, and now if I see the list, so this star means you are in the current workspace. It's something like this, in Git we have branches, not exactly as branches, but you can think in this way. Okay, so this is the one workspace you are in. Okay, so guys, can you hold for a second, please? 1 minute, please. So technically, Terraform know which workspace you are in. So if you run again the apply command, you can see you are in the production workspace. So how they know? So they retrieve your kind of workspace name with this special variable. Now, how can we utilize this variable? So here, instead we fix our instance type. Okay, guys, I explained you one function called lookup, if you remember in my last class. Okay, here, what can we do? We can give our map name, or my map name is type. So I can say where dot type is my name of my dictionary, means name of my map. Okay, and here I will pass my workspace name with this variable. So technically, if your current workspace is prod, so this would be key of lookup function. They go to this type. Okay, and here they say what is the value of the prod key? So it's T2 large. So it will be apply here T2 large. But if you change your workspace to dev, it will apply to T2 micro. So technically, guys, this is a better way to control your environment. It means right now, because I am in my current workspace called prod. So now if I run my Terraform apply command, right, let me uncomment this line. So dynamically, guys, they come to know, okay, because you are in production world, so I will launch the instance with T2 large. Okay, so let me run my Terraform init command to load the driver. So technically, guys, so you are a developer, and depend upon the environment, if you want to choose something else, maybe here is instance type or security group or AMI name, right? So you can create this kind of variables map, and you can use lookup, and you can use this workspace keyword. So just as a developer, just switch your workspace As soon as you switch your workspace, automatically your code come to know that you are now in the different workspace, let's say in dev. So they automatically select T2 micro or whatever, guys. Wherever you use the lookup, you can use lookup anywhere. Maybe instance type, OMI, or maybe somewhere else. Okay, so there's a quick way to manage the different environment in the Terraform. So the concept is workspace is a pre-intel keyword, but it's very much useful keyword in the multi-environment world. So now if I run the apply command, so guys, because right now my current workspace is production, so they automatically understand my current workspace production, so they automatically select T2 large instance type. So if I go here and show you, so they select here T2 large because they know my current workspace production. Okay, because current workspace, even though they also perform here, they say you are in the current workspace production. But let's say same code, but you want to change your workspace. So here there's option called select. So I can go and say I would like to change my environment and let's say my environment dev. So it switch your environment. Now if you see which environment you are in right now, dev, same code, we don't have to go in now in the code. If I apply this, they understand you are in the dev environment. They say, I know you are in the dev workspace. So I know in the dev workspace, this is the instance type you have selected. Okay, so guys, this is the use of the workspace, and multi-environment world, you can use this concept. Okay, so this is one of the topic I would like to explain to you. Okay, there's some more small discussion we can discuss in the Terraform. Okay, so in the Terraform, if you want to do some kind of regex, okay, so they have a regex function available. Okay, so so what the idea, let's say let's say where you are retrieving some value. You guys know data source, we have already discussed. Okay, so you are retrieving some values. Okay, and let's say in the value there's some output come up something like this: http colon / then your IP address, then your port number, and then your some folder name, some page name, something like this. So let's say this is one of the output come up from somewhere, maybe some from data source, from data attributes. And from this output, if you have a requirement to only retrieve the IP address, maybe you want to use this IP address somewhere, or maybe you want to store this IP in some file, or maybe you want to retrieve the last name of the page, which page name you used here. Okay, so in this kind of use case, guys, we have to use regex. So guys, again, this is not the class of regular expression. So I believe and consider that you guys know regex. Okay, because we are in the Terraform class. So because regex is a big long topic, it normally take one entire class only to discuss on regex if you don't know. But by chance, if you don't know regex, guys, so there's one class in my ISRI channel is going on, that's called Python. So there's one class pending. One of the class pending from my side is regex. So there I will take exclusive class on regex, not based on Python first, just say core concepts. And this concept will apply in Ansible, Terraform, any of the languages. So anybody who want to learn regex, regular expression from basic to advanced, soon, guys, I'll take this class. So we'll share the link to you. You guys can join. Okay, so again, free class. You guys go and join there. Okay, so I'm not discussing right now regex. It's a long topic altogether. But how we can use regex in Terraform that I want to show you. Okay, so we have a function called regex. Here you can pass your string. So this would be your string. And in the string, which part you want to cut and you want to retrieve. That's the IP address. So for the IP address, guys, we can create a different regex pattern. So here we have to create some pattern in some format. Okay, and that pattern, guys, you have to provide here. Okay, but for this, you should be good in regular expression. Otherwise, creating the pattern is not the small thing. But here they have some example. Okay, these are the regex keywords. Again, it's not a specific to Terraform, But if you want to know this, I've explained every bit in detail in my regex class. I will. Okay. But how can you use? There's some example over here. Okay. So let's say this is the string come up from somewhere. And from this string, I want to retrieve only the alphabets. So this part I want to retrieve. For this, there's a regex here. Whatever you see from A to Z, plus means n number of characters they have, retrieve it. So if you run this regex in the Terraform, either you can put in the code, or you guys know one more way to run it. So in the Terraform, we have a console. Okay, that's sorry, not console, console. Okay, so here I can just directly copy paste this code. Okay, this is a function. You guys know how to use the function. You can use the function anywhere. So from this string of this particular pattern retrieve. Plus from regex you can do lots of things. Okay, again, this some date, right? And you want to retrieve this part, then this part, and this part you want to cut and retrieve. So then we have some decimal character. So we retrieve a decimal, then hyphen, then decimal, and hyphen. Okay, so because this decimal is 4 inside, so I write \d 4 times. Okay, so if I run this regex, so maybe some output, your date and time come up, and you want to retrieve specifically year or month and those things. So they retrieve for you and put in the list. This list, you guys, from this list, if you want to retrieve particular item, you guys know how to retrieve particular item from the list. This is the person 0, 1, 2, and you can retrieve it. How to use and retrieve from the list, you guys also know this. Okay, some more interesting thing you guys can do. Let's say this is one of the URL come up. This is what, guys, I try to explain this example. In this URL, I want to retrieve my host name, and I want to retrieve my my protocol name. And whatever I retrieve here, I want to store this host name in one variable, this key or protocol name in one variable. I want to create a dictionary of it, or map of it. Okay, so again, this is a pattern we can do. Again, this is not again specific to Terraform. This is a core concept of regex. So whatever language you know, this is the same concept we use here. Again, harder to understand this concept if you don't know regex. I'm don't explain to you. I'm just explaining the use case. But in my regex class, guys, I will discuss this point too. So from this particular URL, guys, see here, they automatically create a dictionary or map for you, and how to use the map, you guys know. So there's a key, there's a value. So you can, this key value you can use in some other code. So you can write this function, they create this map, and this map you can use further in some other resources. Right, and how you use, you guys know, we can put in the variable. Okay, and you can use it. Okay, so these are the good examples they have created here. Okay, but a lot of other functions also, guys, they are based on regex. For example, one of function is called replace. This function, guys, is purely again based on regex. So for example, we have this hello world string come up, and before I want to use hello world, I want to change this string to hello everybody. Okay, so how we can say, we say okay, just search for a word. Okay, that's called hello here, then something come up, then replace it. Okay, so if I say here, again, this is based on regex only, but just want to show you, this is a replace function they have. Okay, so they keep this word hello as it is. After whatever they thing come up, okay, they replace with everybody. That's what this guy is working. Or one of the example, maybe let's say this is one of the string. Okay, in this string, I say wherever plus come up, replace with hyphen or minus. Okay, so there also you can use the replace. So guys, I told you in my last classes, we have a lot of functions available. So based upon your requirement, you can go to this document. This document is nice to have to this kind of function available. Okay, but in some of the functions you should know some basic concept of programming. So if you know, you can very quickly work on it. Okay, so guys, this is again one of the example we have, that is about regex and some function related to regex concept. Okay, so so this is the one of the thing. Okay, technically I think it took I thought take some one class to cover this, but it quickly covered. Okay, but guys, if you see your agenda, okay, we have done with the content, and whatever you have in the agenda we have already discussed and covered. Even though I can say, if you see the agenda of the Terraform that we have shared with you, maybe 120% time, 125% time we have covered. A lot of topic was not there, but I touched and covered. Okay, and uh, some of the topic I try to explain you in more practical way, even though I try to focus more on some multiple different use cases. So whatever topic I pick, I try to touch some use case, a practical use case to cover this topic. Maybe some of the topic maybe a 5 minute, but I might take one single class to cover that particular topic. So according to me, 125, 125, 50% content times we have already covered. And I told you in the first class, I told you in the first class that this training would be more than 95% practicals. That what we have done. Okay, and even though guys, I touch keep on talking about multiple strategy about multi-cloud also, some of the practicals also guys of the multi-cloud I explained to you. Okay, but it's all based upon your knowledge of that particular cloud of Azure or maybe GCP or maybe AWS. Okay, so if you guys want to work more in a multi-cloud kind of setup, one of some of the example I already show you implemented also. Okay, so you implemented also, but what can you do again? You can use a concept called workspace. You can take as a example also, or as a homework also, right? And work or depend on the workspace. If you want a dev environment, if you want a test environment, or if you want the production environment. So as soon as environment change and the dev environment, you use the provider, let's say called GCP. GCP. Okay, in test environment, you can use the provider called Azure, and the production environment you can use the provider called AWS. Or let's say your requirement to launch a full stack. In the simple term, you have you have your own front end server, so you can launch, let's say in AWS you can launch EC2, put some PHP website and whatever language you comfortable on, whatever code you might get in the market. Okay, and deploy guys this in the web server. So the lot of example guys I show you. And maybe this is the front end program might looking for some database. So behind the scene you launch one database. So in the AWS you maybe use RDS service for database. Okay, and when you launch the database, you can retrieve from the data source their IP address. Okay, whatever IP address it come up, okay, you can take the IP address and update their internal file of PHP. Or maybe they have some kind of variable file, just go and update there that this is your database URL. Okay, so this is again one of the things you can do. But if it is a production environment, then do this. But if it's GCP cloud, then they have different compute instance there. Launch the compute instance. I show you this demo, and launch their respective database services. If you Azure, again, there's a VM instances you can go and launch, and whatever the database services they have, you just go and launch. Or maybe if you have key value pair, you use Cosmo DB there. Maybe in AWS use DynamoDB. Again, it all based upon knowledge. So this is again pure. It's not an AWS Azure class, but we have guys try to share you some of the videos of it to give you the core idea of it. So guys, if you take as a homework, this is again one of the strategy you can use. Okay, so based upon the workspace, automatically they have this kind of full stack being deployed for you. Okay, so this is again one of the good multi-cloud strategy. Even though multiple examples, guys, you also get of this multi-cloud. So if you search multi-cloud strategy example, okay, so mostly this kind of example you get maybe as a code. Okay, so maybe some of the link you will see. So you get this kind of code, but you don't require this example because you guys know how to create this. But this is again one of the examples we use it, or maybe one of the example maybe okay, that the example I will always show you show to you, but maybe maybe you can launch instance your front end. Okay, let's say your front end would be application, let's say WordPress, Drupal, PHP, something like this. Okay, and backend would be some database, let's say MySQL. Maybe this might be one of the requirement. Okay, where you want to launch MySQL in AWS cloud with the service called RDS, and WordPress you want to launch in a GCP cloud in their compute engine services. Okay, because these are the two independent components. They just require the connection string or the URL. You can retrieve the IP address and provide to this guy, and your setup start working. Okay, and one of the strategies may be cost management. That example I showed to you already in the class. So so depend, guys, what example would be, what a requirement would be, you know how to write the Terraform. The only requirement would be, if you want to launch RDS instance, you should know about RDS something. Otherwise, writing the Terraform code won't be the simple thing for you. Okay. So there's one more thing, two more small concept. As such, not a part of agenda, but somebody asked me. So I'm not going to create the code for this, but just wanted to very quickly explain to you. Okay, plus I found some good code, simple code that will also explain you very quickly about this. So give me 1 minute, let me open that link. Okay, even though I have already provided this link in your Terraform uh, drive. Okay, so guys, this is the drive link we have provided to you. Okay, and here I just created one file called extra link. Nothing special here. Okay, some. So guys, we know about module, but somebody asked me, even though I can show you, but again, create a code, it take some time. So pretty simple thing. If you want to create a nested module, module inside module, so you can use. So this is one of the, there's one example they show you here. So this is one example where they show you how we can use one module inside other module. So plus also explain it, but you guys know what is module, how to create the module. But inside this module, we call this module. So module, if you call one module inside other module, there's the nested module. So this is a good example. I quickly find, if you read it, you know every bit of it, and try to copy paste, do maybe some small changes, and you will be implemented. Okay, somebody asked me, so there's nothing new here. That is, I'm not showing you. Otherwise, I will go and create this thing for you. Okay, but you know this, so I'm just trying to save the time. So this way, we can create a nested. We can call a nested module. Okay, and one more thing. Okay, even though, guys, in the Terraform also, okay, if you search Terraform data, the sources. Okay, so there's a concept called data source here. Okay, so if you want to retrieve particular value, okay, so let's say there's a data source AWS AMI, and you want to retrieve particular value from this data source, and you want to use that data value in some other resources. You know what is data source? We have discussed multiple times. So if you want to retrieve some of the part from some of the data sources that we discussed already, so this is the block we can do. Okay, so one good example just for testing, I just provided here again stack flow. Okay, so there's a one good example here. Okay, so there's a one resources you guys know how to create. Okay, in these resources, and if you want to retrieve the data source of it, you know what is data source? So it is a different attribute. You know, when you launch any instance type, we create a lot of, it creates a lot of attributes for you, for example for public IP. Okay, and you want to retrieve all these attributes from this resource, and you want to use somewhere else. Okay, so how can you do? So here you can create one data keyword and say I would look to filter okay on the value app star, means this one. So anything that is app star, I want to retrieve it and put in this data source. Okay, so after this you can give this data keyword this name here, this name here, and now whatever value you want to retrieve, you can further retrieve. So one resource value you want to retrieve in other resources. Okay, so this is one of the keyword you can use. Okay, just copy paste this example and try to see it. Maybe you can use output function, output this, output further keywords, you will come to know they give to you. Okay, this is also one of the keyword somebody asked me, so this is the one thing you guys can do. Okay, otherwise guys, that's what the content is. Maybe I can take this class in last class also to complete this, but I thought it might take one complete class to cover this. But yeah, we have concluded. Okay, so I thought guys, whatever we have explained to you and provide in the agenda, we have covered every topic with the practical way, right? But any other queries if you have guys, you can ask. Okay, can we integrate 3 cloud with Terraform? Yes, Aditya, why not? I show you one example already. I showed 2 cloud, same thing you can do 3 cloud. Okay, or not all 3 cloud, you can use all the clouds. Maybe Alibaba also, maybe you can use Kubernetes also together. Okay, okay, yesterday guys I explained you how to integrate with Azure also, so there's no meaning to just show you the same demo. Okay, we can show you the demo with AWS, show you the demo with GCP, but I show you the yesterday I explain you how we can do the same thing with Azure. So I think you can you can try that part by yourself, but I show you how to use the resources, how to credential to use, and other thing is same what we had discussed. Okay. uh, yes, Ankit, almost I think whatever they ask in the Terraform associate exam, okay, we have covered in this training. I can say more than 95%. Maybe some small thing you can read some document and blog of for the exam, but I can say more than 95, 96, 99% maybe I have covered about exam. So you are good to go. If you really go through all the classes and practice all the things, you're good to go for examination. Okay, and this content will be more than enough for to clearing the associate exam of Terraform. Okay. So so Sridhar, the way I show you S3 as a backend, you can use cloud storage also. So uh, yesterday I show you the backend S3. So instead of S3, you go for cloud, Google Cloud Storage as a backend. Okay. So same concept, just you have to change the backend name, and obviously you have to log in with the Google Cloud. Otherwise, it's same, right? So maybe you want to use Google Cloud backend, Azure Blob backend, S3 backend. So just or maybe Alibaba or console backend. Just change the backend keyword the way I explained to you yesterday. Yesterday I use S3 backend, but you can use other thing. Okay. Raghav, if you have version issues in the Terraform, we keyword called Terraform version. So maybe some of the version okay has a little bit different syntax, especially from 0.12 and above and less. Okay, so if you're using particular version Terraform, you can define in the Terraform file. Okay, one of the file is a Terraform version greater than 12. So accordingly, they will use it if that version Terraform available. Okay, because maybe some of the version uh, some of the version here they don't support equal to, some version they support equal, just for example. Okay, so the based upon the version you can use that syntax, or you can have, put in the Terraform file that I want Terraform version and this for 0.12 and above and 0.13 and above. The keyword you can write it. Okay. Any chance to conduct complete corner of GCP or Azure? Rajsek, actually, just now I completed a very detailed course on AWS that I cover entire concept of cloud. And same concept apply Azure and GCP. That is the reason I am not connected for the course in Azure and GCP, because service name is different, but but technically the core concept of the services are same. But what a difference in Azure and GCP, that is I conduct a workshop. So I just show you the difference, that here we have project, here we have the organization. Okay, so for differential perspective, conducted some workshop. I don't know you are a part of my AWS workshop or not, but yeah, what you're asking is as there is no plan. So any class for Splunk? I actually, Arpit, I want Splunk, very, very powerful topic, very important topic, tool, but for just for 2 months, no plan, but after maybe 2 months, okay, we'll discuss. While Terraform refresh, Subhashri, in my initial class, I already discussed Terraform refresh. Okay, but very quickly, it will go to your current environment and load the current state, what is going on. For example, instance of AWS is shut down or maybe running, and they update your local state file. Okay, but I show you the demo in my initial class. So thank you guys very much for your feedback. So I'm just checking for other queries. And I'm trying to pick the queries that is more relevant to the Terraform class and the content that we have. Okay, so I'm trying to pick only those queries. So I'm not able to see any. Saswan, it is just a way to format the code. Okay, so you can use it. As we don't regard, if you want to use, you can use it. What is the certificate obtaining process? So Tansu, I don't know which certificate you're talking about. If you're talking about Linux OS certificate of after this training, you can contact to our team, or in the WhatsApp group I will update you. What is the process? I think I don't know what exactly you're asking, but this might be you guys asking about. What is the next global training? Any idea? for 2 months or at least no further global training. Okay, but we guys update you in respect to WhatsApp group what will be the next global training we are going to conduct. uh, 1 minute please. Take blockchain. So guys, actually there's tons of query here. It is going up and down. Okay, so maybe guys I might miss an example of private cloud like a vCenter. Yes, Jagesh, you can use they have a vCloud also support, vCenter also they have a support. They have a provider for this. How to use the provider? I think now multiple example I already take, so you now understand what to use, how to use the provider. But I want to give you, JS, that yes, we have a provider for the vCenter, and with the help of vCenter management tool, you can launch your VM on the EXX hypervisor. Okay, so they have the provider. Just go to the provider doc, you will get the idea. Okay. So thank you guys very much. I'll try to guys cover as much as query. Some of the topic content that you asked me, it might not look the part of this content, so I won't discuss. But maybe some of the query guys I might miss over here. It is going up and down, doesn't come in order. So I'm sorry for this. But if you think that is so much related to so much related to the Terraform, and it is it have used in some of your use case, uh, just connect to our respective group head, just give the name, and I'll try to guys provide some detail about this content. But technically I'm asking here if it is more about respect to Terraform. Okay, but as much as I try to cover in this training, so that's the final summary. So thank you guys very much for joining. Vishnu will update you about RSC 8 track also. Soon we'll plan and launch for everyone. Okay, so that's all guys. For today, I would like to conclude this training, and all the best guys. Enjoy using Terraform in your world. Okay, and wherever you want to use it, right? So that's all guys. See you and take care. All the best. Bye. Good day. Take care.